What if I told you that one of the most beautiful places on Earth was once a forbidden city, built not for kings, but for a secret so powerful it could control the sun itself? Picture this. Turquoise waters stretching to the horizon, white sand beaches, and perched on a cliff above it all the crumbling stone walls of an ancient city. This is Tuolumne, but it wasn't always a tourist destination. 700 years ago, this was one of the most strategically important and spiritually charged places in the entire Mayan world. A city built on the very edge of the known world, facing the endless Eastern Sea. Why here? Why would a civilization known for its deep jungle cities build a fortress in a place where the land simply ends? The answer is hidden in the stones, the stars, and a secret that transformed this coastline into a place of ultimate power. To understand Tuolumne, you have to forget the paradise you see today. Imagine instead a world without maps, where the ocean was a terrifying and unknown frontier. For the Maya, the east was the direction of creation, where the sun was born each morning. Building a city here on this exact cliff wasn't a random choice. It was a statement, a declaration to the gods and to rival cities that they controlled the gateway to the divine. This was no ordinary settlement. This was a walled fortress, one of the only Mayan cities ever fortified on such a scale. 3 sides were protected by imposing stone walls, and the 4th was a sheer drop to the sea below, an invincible position. But they weren't just keeping people out. They were guarding something inside. The city was a sacred port, a hub for trade in precious goods like jade, obsidian, and feathers. But more importantly, it was a living temple to the descending god, a mysterious deity you can still see carved into the facades of its most important buildings, a figure falling from the sky, head first towards the earth. So what was really happening in this cliffside citadel? Let's walk through its gates. The heart of the city is El Castillo, the castle. It's not just a palace, it's a giant solar calendar. On the spring and autumn equinoxes, the rising sun aligns perfectly with its central window, illuminating the interior in a blaze of light. This was celestial engineering. The Maya were masters of astronomy, and here they built a lighthouse for the sun itself. But El Castillo had another, more practical purpose. Its position high on the cliff made it a perfect navigational beacon for canoes approaching from the sea. By day, the white plaster of its walls gleamed in the sun. By night, perhaps a fire was lit at its summit. It was a guide pulling travelers toward this sacred shore. Just north of the castle stands the Temple of the Frescoes. This is where the mystery deepens. Inside, faded murals depict the Mayan cosmos, gods, serpents, and a layered universe. But the most striking figure is that descending god. No other Mayan site gives this deity such prominence. Who was he? A bee god crucial for the honey trade, a representation of the setting sun diving into the underworld, or perhaps a visitor from the stars. We may never know for sure, but his repeated image tells us one thing. Tuolumne was a place of profound spiritual significance, a portal where the heavens met the earth now. Look at the city's layout. It's small, cramped. This wasn't a metropolis for the masses. This was a specialized city, likely home to a powerful priestly class, astronomers, and elite merchants. The common people probably lived outside the walls. Life here revolved around ritual and trade. Imagine the scene. Priests climbing the steep steps of the temples to conduct ceremonies as the sun rose over the water. traders negotiating for exotic goods in the shadow of sacred buildings. The air filled with the smell of copal incense and the sound of the sea. This city was a machine, perfectly designed to harness both spiritual and economic power. But then, it all stopped. By the late 15th century, just before the Spanish arrived, Tullum was abandoned. The great walls stood empty. The temples fell silent. Why would they leave such a perfect, powerful place? The truth is, the Mayan world was collapsing. Prolonged drought, internal warfare, and the disruption of trade routes had shattered their civilization from the inside. Tullum, for all its strategic genius, was not immune. Its lifeblood was trade, and when that network frayed, the city's purpose faded. The priests left. The merchants moved on. The jungle began to reclaim the stones. For centuries, Tullum slept. It was rediscovered by Spanish explorers in the 1500s, who were astonished to find a deserted city still standing, watching the sea. They named it Tullum, meaning wall or fortress in the Yucatec Mayan language. Its original name was likely Zama, meaning City of Dawn. A more beautiful and fitting name is hard to imagine. It was a city built for the sunrise, and for a time it held the dawn in its hands. Today, when we visit Tullum, we see the collision of two worlds, the ancient and the modern. We sunbathe on the same shore where Mayan canoes landed. We take photos of the same temples that once guided sailors and worshipped gods. The city's story is a powerful reminder that even the most enduring structures are temporary. Civilizations rise and fall, but ideas, the human drive to reach for the stars, to build in harmony with the cosmos, to create beauty in the face of the unknown, that endures. Tullum's stones are silent, but the message they carry across the centuries is as clear as the Caribbean sky. We are part of something much larger than ourselves. What other ancient ruins hold secrets that we've only begun to understand? Tell me in the comments, and your suggestion could be the focus of our next Wonder Explorer adventure.